Last fall, the East Boise County Ambulance District asked voters for help so they could continue to help them. The current property taxes weren't enough to pay for their growing costs, so they wanted to dissolve their established district and create a new one with a higher levy rate. Well, good news, voters agreed and they approved the changes. Bad news, those funds won't come until next year, 2026. So now, in this gap year, East Boise County had to face one of its biggest fears, a critical emergency with 2 or 3 of their ambulances out of commission and needing major repairs. Aspen Shumpert has more about how they're quickly trying to come up with a plan.
A majority of East Boise County's ambulance fleet is out of service, making it difficult to respond to the community's emergencies because they're dealing with one of their own.
Right now we're struggling.
Director of Operations for the East Boise County Ambulance District, Mary Adams, says 3 of their 4 ambulances broke down.
We had 2 of them down at the same exact time. Then while those 2 were down, another one went down.
There was a fire in one of the rig's heating module, a damaged axle in another.
Felt like the tire blew, the ambulance started shaking out of control. It was actually pretty scary.
With 3 ambulances out of service, emergency medical responses in this community are drastically limited.
We've been getting a lot of calls where we have 2 calls at one time, so that limits the amount of how we respond.
As a temporary Band-Aid, the district found another ambulance to use, but it isn't ideal.
We had a loaner ambulance from Acute, which is absolutely amazing. The only problem is that it was a 2-wheel drive. And as many people know about Boise County, this is a 4-wheel drive area that we have to have. So it would limit the areas in which we had to respond to.
In this mountainous region, 4-wheel drive isn't just preferred, it's necessary.
Centerville Road is one of our big ones that we go over, Wilderness Ranch. They're all mountain roads, so with the weather, the road conditions, we have to have those 4-wheel drives. 2-wheel drives just don't make it.
Adams says the district was forced to move its last working ambulance to a more central spot at its Idaho City headquarters.
The only option I had was to go up to Loman and grab the Loman ambulance and bring it down temporarily till the other ambulances are broken. It's not going to stay here. It is going to go back up.
Voters approved a levy increase in November that will add money to the district's budget, but it won't be here in time to help with these immediate repair needs.
It was one of my main and my biggest worries was, what if all our ambulances go down? What are we going to do? Our levy does not start till 2026, so we will not get any taxes from the new levy till January 2026.
Adams told me the district is doing what it can to keep emergency services running with very limited resources. But as we heard her say, only having 2 or 1 ambulance available, if multiple calls come in, someone will have to wait and there could be unavoidable delays. Now, Brian, I do want to bring some happy news to the end of this story. Just before the show, we got an update actually from the district that a private donor came forward and gave them $25,000. And the district tells me that's going to take care of a lot of these repair costs that they're seeing for these 3 ambulances. I know one of them is $16,000 estimate to repair. They haven't got the other 2 yet. They should be significantly lower. So they should be able to take care of repairs. They're still going to be out of commission of ambulances until those are done. But what a gracious donation.
That's awesome. But the fact that they have to rely on donations and taxes as opposed to, well, we talked about this before, the state not considering them essential services. Right?
Yeah, and that makes them turn to private donors and donations or levy rates, which we've seen a lot of the ambulance districts do in the last several years.
They've tried to address this a couple times in the legislature to kind of get them to recognize it and get state funding, but so far that hasn't happened. All right. Thank you very much, Aspen.